Welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to single-handedly break this piece of trim just because I constantly nudging
it
on
honestly
it and hitting it.
might help me if you break it because every time I look over there, it bugs me.
Why?
Because I cut like an asshole. So you can clearly tell that things aren't aligned, and I just haven't bothered
to fix it.
Yeah, because it's just gonna be like a whole thing, and then I have to go get another. I have to go get a fucking miter saw.
I can bring my miter saw up.
Yeah, then we got to do work, and at the same time,
I have a portable miter saw stand.
But see, here's the problem, right? We start doing all that, and we're like, all right, we got a portable miter saw stand. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's rerun this house right now and do this floor thing that we've been talking about to fix this cord problem that's underneath our feet. Which all of this would take 30 minutes, probably to 2 hours, and we'd be done.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it's work.
What day do we have 30 minutes to 2 hours?
I mean,
this is the only time I can take you.
Post 9/11, no. Post holiday season, there should be free time.
Yeah, we might have
theoretically.
Free time.
Theoretically,
yeah. I mean, true. Everything is theoretical when it comes to
life.
Life. Life sounds good. That's a very factually inspired statement, I guess. Everything is theoretical when it comes to life. It sounds like something out of Monty Python, but anyway,
could be.
What are we doing?
This is the thank you for joining us on the Gamers 2 podcast for the week of December 6th, 2019. I honestly, every single time I know the date, I am massively impressed with myself.
My favorite part is that you're massively impressed with yourself when it's right there.
I know, but I'm trying, I'm just trying to be aware of my reality.
There's multiple days this week where I was like, cool, it's Friday. No, it's not.
Yeah, same. I just don't even know what day it is half the time, so.
I usually don't know what the weather is, which I think is more scary.
That one is a constant problem for me. Did not know it was supposed to snow all day. Not that it matters.
I figured it out when I was on lunch, and I was like, all right, that's about halfway through my day. I'm kind of in trouble at this point.
Yeah.
But, hey.
Yeah.
Grab life by the horns, and that means not reading the weather until you're halfway through your day.
True.
Wing it in the morning.
What's going on with the driveway situation? You got a plow guy this year or what?
Yeah. Same plow guy.
Okay.
Same plow guy.
Just curious.
He doesn't need to plow this.
Okay.
This doesn't. He'll show up probably either tonight or tomorrow morning. Probably and still do it. The only thing I would like him to plow right now is just the end of the driveway. The rest of it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't. This depth is not that bad for me.
I know you guys you live by a different standard up here in the.
Yeah, I don't need it plowed 6 times a day. I'm all right.
This is that type of snow which shuts down Whitesboro.
Yeah, that's true.
It's there's people.
Did you notice how far I shoveled for you though?
I did see the shoveling to the.
That is a lot further. Than I normally would, because I was almost expecting you to back in, so that way you'd purposely get a driver's side out right into that.
Oh no,
that's what I was giving you the opportunity for.
I got the shit kickers on, so I'm just whatever. I'll trudge through this.
I care none for your snow.
Exactly. Yeah, what are we doing? Oh yeah.
So what have you been doing? What have you been doing the last 7 days? I like the part where we're gonna get halfway through this podcast and go, "What the hell are we doing?
What are we talking about?"
Anyway, so what have you been doing the last 7 days?
7 days.
Roughly, give or take 10 hours.
Well, first off, I feel obligated to mention the fact that they had in my Japanese baseball anime. Not that I need to preface it.
They had Japanese. John Boy was in the.
That would be amazing.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch the John Boy video? He did another video with Coach Baseball.
Oh no, I did not.
It's another winner.
Another winner.
Yeah,
100%. All right.
Anyway, so the anime with the baseball anime I've been watching, they did their crossover game to where the Japanese all-star team, basically the high school Japanese all-star team, plays the American all-star team. And
don't mind me.
He's having technical difficulties. His bike stand needs a little bit of Viagra.
My bike stand's about to get beat.
They played each other.
I'll replace you.
And it was hilarious because imagine the American players were voice acted by Japanese actors, but they were speaking English.
Oh, man.
It was rough. It was real rough.
I don't know if I could watch that episode without just laughing.
It was funny. It was fun. And then they kept commenting. So like, I don't know if you remember, but when I first started watching the baseball anime, and I was talking about baseball, and like I was asking you about like American baseball didn't seem to play the same way, and they bring that up in the game because at one point one of the Japanese players bunts and like gives up and out to progress the runner. And the coach laughs. The American coach laughs at them and just basically is like, "Ha ha ha, Japanese small ball," and like,
well, so yes and no. That is a thing that still does happen.
Yeah,
just not to the frequency that occurs in Japan.
Yeah,
because America went, we like home runs. We gonna hit home runs.
Yeah, which is basically another thing that they bring up. So it was funny / interesting to see it exemplified in anime. And what else I've been doing? I've actually started playing the Outer Worlds. It's interesting to play a game that isn't broken. It just works.
Shots
no bugs.
Fired.
No bugs. Like it's smooth. Like all the movement's smooth. Like there's no like collision issues.
Don't do this to me. Don't give me hope.
I know, it's really bizarre. I realized that I'm like, what is this? This game's so weird. And
what is it about this game that really sets it apart from everything else?
I'm like, what is this? And I was like, oh wow, it's been a long time since I've played a game that didn't have like stupid bugs. Yeah, so I basically played. I'm level 8 right now, and I know that means nothing, but I basically left the world that starts you on.
There's multiple worlds.
Yes.
Okay.
I left the world that starts you on, and it's good. I like it so far. I mean, the story's a little slow to start, but that seems to be an Obsidian thing. It's like,
I mean,
people keep comparing it to New Vegas, and it clearly has those New Vegas main story vibes.
Oh, I wonder why.
But it also reminds me of Firefly.
Oh no. Because
the characters, like, it's almost like the concept is so similar. You know, you get this like rundown fucking smuggling ship. You're the captain, and then you have this like female mechanic who's overly naive that you pick up, and she's like, oh, really excited to work on the ship and go places because she's never been anywhere before. Like the characters are very similar. You pick up this like vicar who's basically a preacher, and who is like claims to be a preacher, but like he has a real mysterious past because he's like some amazing gunslinger. He knows a lot of stuff that he shouldn't know. Like
he's just the guy from, oh no, what was that Wild West game? Where you are the father that murders everybody.
Uh-oh.
It's not Call of Juarez, is it? No.
There is a game called Call of Juarez.
Yeah, no, but I don't think it's that. I don't think it's a gun either.
I have no idea.
There's a game where you walk out of a church, I think as the father, and then just start murdering everybody. I don't know if you were trying to start over a new life or something, and then they find out who you were, and you're just like, not today, and then I think it was some Old West game. Anyway.
So yeah, it's been good. Other than that, the only thing that I've tried to play is Halo Reach. It's been not going well. I've tried multiple things. I'm fought with it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I thought I made progress. For whatever reason, I don't know. It's just Windows Store nonsense because even though it's Game Pass, it still connects to the Windows Store.
You did it that way, not the Steam way?
No, because I have Game Pass, so why not use Game Pass? But I'm considering just buying it through Steam because I'm not going to always have Game Pass,
right.
And Game Pass is clearly I've had issues with other games with Game Pass, so which is fun because the Xbox Game Pass application is still a beta in parentheses. It says beta. Yeah. So like I want to complain about it, but I was like, it's a fucking beta still, I guess. Like,
oh, you bastards. You got me. You fooled me now.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think Fair that's enough. It for my life. Other than, no, that's it. That's basically it. How about you?
Oh, the huge, Matt. The huge. Pokemon's beaten. Officially, like I've gone through the whole story thing, captured my legendaries, yada yada. So that's now officially backburnered. I know I talked about it a little bit last week, but that's now I've sunset it into random territory. Played a little bit more show. You saw that today. Playing a little bit more anything else. Playing some the usual dibble dabble. I don't need to get into all the dibble dabble. The dibba dabble bug dibba dome.
Did you finish Fallen Order yet? Or are you still working on it?
I haven't finished Fallen Order yet. I got through the part that we had discussed. I chose purple.
Classic. I chose cyan.
Okay. I chose the deep purple.
The deep purple.
Just so I could play Smoke on the Water as I was going around.
There is various
There's a light purple if you went all the way to the left.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's going to choose the light purple? I want...
The purples and the pinks, the different purples and pinks, all very similar to each other.
I was like, can you just let me choose blood red?
Yeah.
Why can't I choose blood red?
It's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I mean, I know why I can't, but come on now. Also, we can talk about this after this because I don't want to go ranting again on Fallen Order.
True.
Fuck me, did I get disappointed during that part?
Which part? That
entire
the crystal.
Sequence. Yeah,
thing?
when you get to your crystal, that entire sequence, I just went,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
The whole thing, I was just like, what am I, Kylo Ren? It was just disappointing.
It was kind of weird, too. Like, he all of a sudden is just like, I'm going to doubt myself. I'm going to doubt this whole thing.
That's been the whole thing, where all of a sudden he turns into this baby. Numerous times where he's been this hard ass the entire time, and then he's just like, my master. And I'm like, what happened?
Where did this come from?
Everything was all good, and then we show you one alien-looking species guy that happens to be your master, and you start bawling in the corner until this baby robot runs up and is like, I believe in you! I believe in you, Cal! And I'm just like, why?
The best part of that game is the Venerator that you go exploring through.
What?
It's a part of Zepho, the Star Destroyer that crashes on Zepho.
Yeah. Greece said something about there's a ship that's crashed on Zepho. Maybe it's got some relics in it. And I'm like, guess where I'm not going, Greece? We got places to be.
Yeah, you don't have to go through it. And that's kind of sad because it's interesting because it has all the Clone War shit in it. It's basically a Clone War
homage
ship that's crashed. So, you see all the Clone War stuff. And then that one, I actually pieced the story together correctly. You know how, you get the little force things, the little...
Oh, the force objects.
Yeah, and then it tells you, a little story or whatever.
Right.
If you go... It's pretty much a linear path, but if you go through it, collect it the correct order or whatever, it gives you everything in order, and you get this, story, basically, as you're traveling through. And I was like, this is nice. And, yeah, that's part of the game, I think. Personally.
Whew, boy, that does not bode well for that. And then, of course, what I will be playing later tonight, Football Manager 2020.
So, have you had the chance to play it since last week, or is this the first night?
Okay. Yep. I've had a chance to play it since last week. We are in March, I think. We're pushing right along. We're almost done with season 1. So we're moving at lightning speed for us.
Good. Any highlights? Any ups and downs? Any massive changes?
We're still questioning whether or not I'm going to get fired. I haven't been warned yet, so there's a chance.
You should be good then. If you haven't been warned.
If I haven't been warned, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling all right. It's starting to turn around, starting to look a little bit better. I'm going to lose a lot of players in the end of the season. I've already lost some, but I'm going to lose more at the end because just people are leaving. And I'm like, that's fine. Get your salaries off my books. I don't want to see you anymore. So then I get to, during the summer, just kind of reinvigorate the squad. Give it a little bit of new life.
A little new fresh blood, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, give me some of those eager beavers.
How's
Hopefully. And then hopefully not completely get rocked everywhere else. But
how's Kenny doing?
He's still ahead of me.
Still doing well.
Yep.
That's good. That's good.
Neither of us are going to win the league, though. We're pretty sure. We're pretty sure that that's already been decided, basically.
Oh, wasn't he doing pretty good for a while there, though? Like, or did he?
Yeah. No, he's still doing just as good. I think. Had a little bit of a slump. Not as bad as mine.
Yeah, a couple bad weeks maybe, and that's it.
Yeah. I had a couple bad months.
Happens to the best of us.
That's true. But hey, we're turning it around. They did a patch to fix some of the stuff we were having problems with. That patch seems to have fixed the things we were having problems with, not just, hey, we think we fixed it. No, it seems like so far it's been fixed. So that's been a refreshing take. And we're still pushing forward. I haven't read anything. I know it's not something we normally bring up. But I haven't read anything because I really haven't found anything to like grab me yet. I've gone through some stuff and I'm just kind of like, I get through a little bit. I'm just like, it just doesn't. I don't care. Like if it doesn't catch me in the first bit, screw it. I don't owe it anything. I don't need to finish it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, all right, that's whatever. But I do need to call it out because I'm still listening to a lot of things, mostly podcasts. In the terms of podcasts I've listened to, now I have not pulled up my Spotify 2019 year in review bullshit to see what it says.
I didn't know that was a thing, but that's cool.
Everybody's been posting them all over Twitter.
Oh, okay. I don't do the
things. Yeah, I know.
I don't do the Twitter thing, so I'm out of the loop.
You should do Twitter instead of Facebook. Can your Facebook?
I don't go on Facebook. I mean, it's there. I just don't go on it.
Fair enough. Anyway, so at the time of me thinking back of what I've listened to this year, I did listen to some Kind of Funny, very low.
Yeah.
Listen to a lot more What's Good Games than Kind of Funny.
Not familiar with that, but it sounds so.
Andrea Renee.
Oh, okay.
Steimer.
Yep.
Brombacher. All those guys. Listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good fun time. Number 2 on the list in terms of my enjoyment. Well, not even number 2. Number 1, I'll go straight to number 1 for my content that I'm always going to go to. Dude Soup.
Dude Soup.
Funhouse's Dude Soup.
Yeah.
Once a week, religiously listened to. Guaranteed every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. I can't say anything better about it because it's very good. That's just what it is.
I like listening to Dude Soup. I don't hit every episode, but I'll listen. I'll throw one on the PC in the background every once in a while.
Right. And then my other favorite, my non-video game favorite, my sports favorite. We get Talkin' Baseball by John Boy, by Jimmy O'Brien and Jake.
So
now, before you say whatever you're about to say, it's the off season. So now it's getting to be a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fun during the season too.
In a different way, though.
But a lot of times I'll end up like being on sites where I already kind of see what they're about to talk about, and then I hear it, and it's just kind of refreshing me on what I've already known.
Mm-hmm.
For some of it. Other times I learn something I didn't know about. But during the off season, when maybe I'm not paying attention as much to the news, and then I get their podcast and I hear certain news stories or anything like that, I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Or there's fun moments, like they were doing interviews. They started doing like interview podcasts with some players and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a fun time. And the Easton thing,
Yeah. They single-handedly reviving baseball, I think, to be honest with you. Like, as far as mainstream, in the eyes of the younger generations, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just them. I think there's a multitude of creators that are kind of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they are easily becoming the biggest known ones after this whole...
I've spread the word of John Boy. I've told some people that work about it, and they've watched it, and been like, you know what? It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, I showed my dad who loves sports, and he's like, this dude's really funny.
Yep.
Like,
John Boy is something that if you enjoyed sports at any point during your life, any point, JOMBOY, search it in YouTube, start watching some breakdowns, start watching some podcasts. I think they got them up there. And they're on Patreon at $2 a month for nothing other than just giving them some support.
Yeah.
You still get all the content.
And
yes, I back them before we're clear about anything.
I say even if you are like a pop culture person who wants to, be in on a little bit of the conversation at work or something like that, and not necessarily like a sports fan, you could hit his highlight videos And most likely you'll get all the important stuff for the week so that you can, be in on the conversation with some friends at work, even though you don't watch sports.
Yep. It's a great, and I've said this before.
And his videos are short, unlike most content creators. Yeah. He's not trying to hit the 10-minute thing. If it takes him 2 minutes to explain something, that's how long the video is.
2 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour if it's a podcast. It's a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked about it before with the first time that I was starting to listen to them and stuff. Because I had known of them for like their breakdowns and stuff, but then I started listening to Talking Baseball when it first started back in July. Because Talking Yanks is one of their main podcasts, because they were always Yankee people, and they still are Yankee people, but then they started doing Talking Baseball. And as much as I love my Yankees, I don't need podcasts or anything specific to them.
Yeah.
Because I can get all my information just on that team. Mm-hmm. But when they start doing Talking Baseball and they're going to cover all the teams and all that, I'm like, yes, give me that. I want to know baseball. I don't need to know just Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
But when we started talking about that, I was like, we could easily, I think, at least attitude-wise or whatever, fit right in. When it comes to like listening to their podcast, they're 100% the video game version of, or the sports version of us,
in
a sense of just the same kind of demeanor of messing with each other, go through some stories. We don't have cool nicknames for each other, but that's not the point. We don't need them. But, it's just a fun way to hear your news for the week, if it's a topic or a genre you like.
For sure.
So shout outs, John Boy. You and your media company, you and Jake, doing the Lord's work. I hope you guys enjoy, because they're going to the winter meetings that start on Sunday.
Really?
And run to Thursday. They're going to go to the winter meetings. I think they're going to do some interviews and some other stuff. So they'll be in the winter meetings.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. They go down to spring training. They do it all.
They're going places. They're going places. They are places.
They are the place, Matthew. Then obviously I'm watching sports and everything else right now. Fantasy football's going on. I'm in playoffs in 2 of the 3 leagues right now.
Yes.
In those 2, I am in bye weeks because I had a high enough seed. The third one, playoffs start next week, so I'm playing the final week right now, and then playoffs start next week. So, but a lot better season than where I thought I was going to be in the beginning of it all.
Yeah,
managed to make 2 bye weeks, which are 2 of the top seeds usually. So I'm like, all right,
you're in a strong spot.
Yeah, I turned it around, one might say. Anyway, yeah. That's really all I got.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, the only other thing that I've watched is I watched the Spitfire documentary on Netflix. It was fantastic.
Well, of course, you love the Spitfire.
I mean, I love a lot of things.
Matthew. Spitfire.
It was nice. It was nice because there was times I was doing the dishes, as I do when I watch documentaries, and I would be like, "Man, this is a cool documentary, but I'm wondering if they're going to mention this thing." And then literally a minute later, it'd be like, blah, 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 like they would bring it up. And I was like, oh, these people it's not like an in-depth documentary, but they cover their bases. So it was enjoyable. And the planes are gorgeous.
There it is. Knew it was coming.
They are.
Absolutely knew it. Anyway. Cool beans. What should we move to, Matthew?
We are going to move to new releases. Am I supposed to say this tagline?
No, I mean, if you want to.
Okay.
I just threw it in. I threw it in initially because I was just being sassy and bored.
Well, I changed it to dildos.
That's true.
You
did
dildos Jurino. Yeah, so we got new releases. A list curated by none other than Nate Killian.
Which, as far as anybody on this podcast is concerned, is the only voice you need to hear when it comes to new releases.
There you go, guys.
Wait till they start playing me on the demo reels at Targets, Walmarts, and Best Buys.
Frightening.
I can just picture the part where I'm just staring down as, hey, kids. Y'all want to play that Call of Duty? Anyway, yeah, new releases. The joke was that they were brought to you by DiGiorno. Then Matt changed it to Dildos Giorno, so I don't know what that means. But hey, now we're moving
I don't
on.
know either. I saw DiGiorno, and I said, man, I could put dildo in there, and I put dildo in there.
You could put dildos on a DiGiorno.
You can. You could put dildos in and on many things.
Number 1, Blair Witch for the PS4. Number 2, Cuisine Royale for the PS4. Number 3, this is a favorite of the Gamers 2 audience and podcasters.
I believe it's a rule of the podcast.
It is also a rule that if there is a farming game released during the week, no matter if it's a re-release or not, we must mention it, which means Farming Simulator 2020 is out now for Switch. Nancy Drew Enhanced Edition for the PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Master Chief Collection Halo Reach for the PC and Xbox. Tools Up for the PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Trover Saves the Universe for Xbox. Big Pharma for Xbox, PS4, and Switch. And Ancestors, The Humankind Odyssey for PS4 and Xbox. That is a game about apes.
Nice. I'm curious what the game Big Pharma is about.
Probably pharmaceuticals.
Is it Plague, but reverse,
pharma?
so it's Pharma?
I don't think so. I think it's more like 2 Point Hospital, but I'm not positive about that.
Okay.
I honestly haven't looked into it. Could be completely. You know what? It's like Skyrim with guns. Sorry, Adam.
Skyrim with guns. Classic.
You know those Kovic, right?
Yeah.
So everybody rips on him for. Far Cry's like Skyrim with guns. Do you want number 1? Do you want number 2?
I don't care.
You want to flip a coin?
I don't care.
Right.
I started writing this stuff, and then I realized that there was like a good amount of like weird news, and then I got bored of it and started like truncating random bits of news articles. So like, it's kind of a mess. Like there's stuff all over the place.
Like I just started doing some of this, and I started doing some weird shit, and then I was like, screw this. I started chopping half the story out.
Yep. Basically, that's it. I'll just start. It's Halo Reach. So.
Go for it. It's something you're fond of and well versed in at this point. With how many times you've tried to play it,
I definitely know how not to play it.
There was nothing better than when you were sending me a PowerShell window with errors in it, and I was like, "Why are you in PowerShell?"
The Windows Store, man. I fucking hate that thing. Halo Reach launched on Steam this past Tuesday, and it immediately raced into the top of Valve's charts of most played games. After originally debuting on the Xbox 360 nearly 10 years ago, Microsoft has brought back the classic on PC with an impressive port that includes unlocked frame rates, a field of view slider, and even ultra-wide monitor support. At its launch day peak, 161,000 people were playing Halo Reach, catapulting it into the 4th spot on Steam's most played titles. While it's now dropped behind Destiny 2, Rainbow Six Siege, and Grand Theft Auto 5, Reach is now comfortably in 7th place. It was the best-selling game during Valve's Steam Autumn Sale, without even being on sale. I find this interesting because I feel like more than anything else, I feel like this shows the lack of good shooters, maybe? I don't know if that's necessarily what I want to say.
I mean, it could. It maybe not necessarily wrong, but I...
Like, it's... If people are this... Halo Reach was good, but it wasn't like... it's nothing... Nothing absolutely mind-blowing. So maybe it shows people's... want for a Halo title, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think Reach was better than 5, 4.
Oh, Reach was definitely the last good Halo.
Okay, as long as we're agreeing on that.
Yeah. For sure. It's just, I find it...
Give me some of my boy June.
Okay, there you go, June.
I'm pretty sure he's the last one to die.
I don't remember, honestly. I was looking forward to playing the fucking game, but so I could tell you who dies last.
I think it was June when he goes to rip out one of the people, the elites or whatever, out of a turret. I'm pretty sure he was the one that had the skull mask.
Yeah, June, I think he did because he was the one with the knife all the time, right?
Yeah. Good old June. The funny thing about Reach, had 2 achievements for completing it. Actually, speaking of achievements, I'm going to do a little Reach moment here.
Okay.
It was one of the only games I ever saw to have 2 achievements for completing it on Legendary. Solo and co-op.
Yeah.
Because solo was harder.
Solo was harder because co-op you could cheese.
Yeah.
Wait, did they still have the cheese in co-op?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know
Reach?
Originally in Reach.
Yeah, there was the cheese with Legendary to where, like, if one of you was alive, then it was fine, basically.
Yeah. So there were 2 achievements for completing it alone and then 1 together. And I have the one for completing it alone. Not like a big tout myself around, but it was just one of those ones where I was like, oh, okay, I feel pretty good about that when I was a wee lad.
I'm curious to play it more than anything else because I want to see as a barometer of how either bad or good I am compared to how I was when I played it originally.
A mix of that, and I want to see what I can do on keyboard and mouse with that game.
True.
That part more excites me. Also, funny thing, one of the achievements was to kill somebody with an assassination from 40 feet or something like that. Like you had to fall a certain distance and then do the assassination. Or no, you had to fall a certain distance, I think, survive. So the way to do it was to go to a certain map or a certain part in the campaign where you would be able to jump off a cliff and there was an enemy below you, and then you would just do that actual assassination move where you land and do the whole like cinematic part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I executed that like 3 or 4 times out of, I don't know, 60 attempts or something, because I would either miss or then die from the fall damage or whatever. So I got it like 3 or 4 times. It never triggered the achievement. So I never got it, and I just said, screw it, I'm done. I'm missing that and maybe one other thing for that game to be a perfect game. I was just like, ah.
I didn't play Reach that much. Like I played it, but I didn't stick with it like that. So
I would just usually do that while I was waiting for somebody else to get on to play multiplayer or something. I'd be like, all right, cool. Wait, while they're grabbing dinner or something, I'll just go try to get this done. And every time it wouldn't count. Number 2. Microsoft is currently planning to launch 2 next-generation Xbox consoles for holiday 2020. Sources familiar with Microsoft's plans tell The Verge that Microsoft is planning a second, cheaper, and less powerful Xbox console, codenamed Lockhart.
Do you have deja vu yet?
Like the way we've already covered this?
Yes.
And then everybody said no. Now we're all saying yes again.
Bingo.
Cool. While Microsoft has revealed its Xbox Project Scarlet high-end plans, the company did not mention its 2-console strategy at E3 earlier this year. Windows Central originally reported Lockhart's existence nearly a year ago, and Kotaku now reports it's part of Microsoft's next-gen plans. Microsoft is essentially launching the 2 next-gen consoles that will serve as successors to the Xbox One S and Xbox One X. Lockhart will debut without a disk drive, much like the Xbox One All-Digital Edition, and Microsoft is tweaking the console's hardware so it's less powerful than the main Project Scarlet console, codenamed Anaconda. Apparently, Microsoft has been seeking feedback from developers on its next-gen Xbox plans in recent months, and we initially heard the company had scrapped its Lockhart plans ahead of E3. Microsoft still hasn't finalized its next-gen Xbox hardware specs, but it sounds like Lockhart will now be part of the holiday 2020 launch. Kotaku reports that Lockhart will include a solid-state drive, and it will be targeted toward 1440p gaming rather than the 4K gaming that will be available on Anaconda. Sources say that Lockhart will get a next-gen CPU, but that it will be clocked slower than what's available on Anaconda. And in case you're curious, Matt, for what I want them to name their systems, you just heard them.
Anaconda.
If Microsoft called the Xbox Anaconda, like if Microsoft would just stick consistent with those random names, we would never have to worry about, it's the Xbox One, but it's the Xbox 2, but it's the Xbox 360 or the 720 or the Xbox One X or anything like that. Xbox One X is the same backwards as it is forwards. No, it's not, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Call it Xbox Anaconda. Screw it. Who cares?
It's a bold move if they launch the one without a disk drive, I think.
I think it's a bold move if they launched both at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to hedge their bets and it might backfire. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, where they're like, all right, we understand. What if we gave you both? And people are like, no.
No. PS5?
Take two. Two, please. Two? You only got one? All right, I'll take one. That's 100% how I expect this to go, by the way.
Yeah.
Street call, street corner.
Hard,
I got your paper.
He's got
I got the Newsies cap or whatever. Yeah, fucking cap hat.
Yep.
Get your Xbox. And then he just hucks it at somebody.
Yeah, hucks an Xbox at someone.
They flip a quarter into the tin next to him, and he just whips a full Xbox at him.
If only you could pay a quarter.
If only I could whip an Xbox at somebody.
True.
I'd come back and work Black Friday with you just for that.
Let me, speaking of game consoles, is it in here? I don't even remember what I put in here. It's not, so I'll bring it up now. What console do you think sold the most
ever?
Black Friday?
Oh, this Black Friday. Switch.
Yes. They had huge sales. I didn't put it in here because, whatever. And I guess you could bring that up too. The console that sold the most ever. PlayStation.
Yeah, PS2.
They got a Guinness World Record this week.
I believe for the franchise of PlayStation.
For the console. Yeah, the console. Yeah. I guess you call it a franchise.
Yeah, I believe.
Family, I think is what they refer to it as.
The family of PlayStation, yes. Yeah. But technically, yes, still the PS2.
And
nothing's touching the PS2 ever, probably.
Little side tidbits for you. League of Legends publisher Riot Games will pay at least $10 million under a legal settlement. Legal.
Sedimentary rock. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you know that video.
I do.
Oh, yes. Yay, education.
Will pay at least $10 million under a legal settlement with current and former female employees following accusations of gender-based discrimination and sexual harassment at the company. The Los Angeles Times writes that Riot will compensate around 1,000 women who worked there between November 2014 and the present, with the dollar amount varying based on the time at the company. Court documents note that the two class representatives, Jessica Negron and Gabriella Downey, will each receive $10,000. After attorney costs and other fees, around $6.2 million is expected to go towards payouts for the other employees. Full employees will get a minimum of $2,500, and temporary contractors will get at least $500. The court filing says most class members should get at least $5,000. In case you forgot, Riot was sued in 2018 by multiple employees following an investigation by Kotaku, which spoke to more than 24 people about a, quote, bro culture.
Bruh. You even harass, bro?
Where women were treated as outsiders and passed over for promotions based on their gender. So, story that we've been following that for a while.
I mean, since it broke.
Story closed. End story.
Or is it?
Or is it?
I mean, it sounds all good. I don't know. I never know in these situations. Is a payout good enough? You know what I mean? Like, is that good enough? I don't know how this works.
I don't know how it works either.
I've never been on the side that they're on.
I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, there was more to the story, but I didn't want to go on for it. But, like, they're going to change things.
Yeah, I'm sure it's part of the agreement. Like, okay, so we pay them out to financially, like, make them happy with the problems, but then we also agree to go through all these trials and tribulations during an HR speech of, we do these things now, or we do these things, just stuff like that of the culture that should have been in place from the beginning. is now just written somewhere that says you must follow that, or this whole thing comes up again.
Yeah. I think it's the best that they could do as a company. I don't think there's anything they could do better, like, to compensate, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, because that's the I just mean, like, it's always such a weird thing when I'm sure there is, you could probably equate it to some type of financial loss to the individual of this whole time, like the amount of time they've either spent maybe in therapy if they took that during this, or time they took off because they couldn't handle any type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they went through, but anything like that could have been deemed a loss of income to them or something. Or I guess with the part that I'm saying is, like, I don't know what loss of income they potentially had or whatever versus just like emotional damage and mental and whatever damage and potentially physical damage as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, $5,000 work.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those.
I think in this case,
I clearly see I cut your arm. Does this $10 bill fix that arm?
I feel like this is totally just me speculating. I'm speculate that in this case, they wanted to win and be recognized, like them admit to it,
right?
More than they cared too much about the money, because I
I
guess in the grand, I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it, but you could argue either way that this is either not enough or too much or whatever. But I think in this case, they just wanted Riot to say, "You're right, we fucked up."
Right. I'm sure it was more of not so much of a not enough thing, but okay, this is a nice little thing for us personally, but we don't want you to repeat what you just did. So that goes back to the part that we don't have, where it's like, I'm sure there are mandates going forward that say they must do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
As a company now.
There was another story I was going to throw in here too, but I didn't want it to be weighted too much, and it was long. It was a long fucking story, but the short of it was that during an investors call, one of the investing companies of Microsoft was basically saying, "Hey, I think we should run a study that looks at pay inequality in Microsoft." And Microsoft basically was like, "I don't think that's a good idea," because, and they listed out, like, it was actually really interesting because they basically, like, Microsoft's board was like, "I don't think that's a good idea because, like, we don't have a problem." And they, like, basically gave them all of this, like, data and facts and stuff saying basically that, like, it's not a fair way to look at it. And, like, they didn't think that was a problem inside Microsoft. And then shareholders voted it down with only like 30% saying that they wanted to do it. And then another company basically that invests in Microsoft wanted to do a similar study that basically looked at the same thing. And the shareholders voted that down, like, with only 5% saying that they wanted to do it. It was just like, it's hard to put into a short little blip, but it was interesting to see it from the other side, where overwhelmingly people were like, "Yeah, that's not a problem. Like, we don't need to be wasting our time with this."
Yeah.
Like, and this is all the data we have that proves that, like, we got this on lock. Like,
yeah. Sometimes with some of those investors, like, it's a question of whether or not they're an investor when you're wondering if they're purposely trying to tank them.
Yeah.
And be like, "All right, we want you to do this. Sell now because we think they're going to screw it."
Yeah, or they were trying to, like, buy more shares or whatever. So they're like, "Let's get the share value down."
Yeah, it's a really, like, in certain companies, like, that's the part where, like, let the company, like, the people that are at the company figure it out, I guess. I don't know. Weird thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting all around. Should we get to number 4? I guess.
Sure. That's a big one.
Rumors.
I like that.
I mean, you capitalized the word rumors, so I had to yell rumors.
I did, and there's an explanation point on it.
Yeah. Rumor numero uno. Horizon Zero Dawn to PC, one of the biggest Russian bloggers, Anton Logvinov, has revealed the information in his latest video. He says, quote, "To everyone who was moaning when at the beginning of the year I said that Death Stranding will come to PC, I suggest taking chill pills and screaming that I'm crazy like you did at the beginning of the year, because Horizon Zero Dawn will be available on PC on February next year. Hopefully you guys are alive. The announcement will be soon," end quote.
I don't know.
I'm going to make a comment on this when we're all done, but
okay.
I'll finish it going. He further adds, quote, "I'm talking to different developers who are making something for the PlayStation 5, and they said to me that Sony warns them, quote, keep the PC version in mind," end quote. This is the same person who predicted Death Stranding's PC launch. I do hate that last line you have, Matt, because bullshit.
Okay.
You want to know why? If you don't remember when Death Stranding was announced in 2016, it said it was coming to PC.
Yeah.
So what fucking prediction are you making there, Chief?
I don't know.
I would like to predict right now that FIFA 21 will come to consoles. You're welcome. Thank you. And this is where everybody, if you're listening, start applauding, and I'm going to walk off stage.
Okay.
I am the greatest predictor of all time. You're welcome. Thank you. I would also like to predict, Matthew, that we will finish this podcast.
Okay.
So, believe it or not, it will happen.
It might happen.
This episode will be finished at some point in the future when you're listening to this right now. Eventually, it will come to an end. I'm a genius. Praise me. Praise the almighty predictor. Anyway, sorry. I'm done. Did you have anything to add before I move on to rumor?
Nope.
Okay. Next, rumor. Resident Evil 3 Remake has leaked through the official PlayStation Store. Capcom has been rumored to be working on a new remake for Resident Evil 3, and while no details were confirmed for it, it has been speculated for a while now. According to GameStat, a PSN tracking website that keeps track of all the new records added to the PSN, Capcom has uploaded Resident Evil 3 Remake cover art to the PlayStation Store.
I mean,
be interesting to see. I mean, 2 did so well, so
yeah, that was like, this is one of those rumors that's like, I guess it's kind of like the Horizon Zero Dawn or the Death Stranding thing, where it's like,
no shit.
Yeah, no shit. Like, if they didn't do one, they'd be stupid.
I guess more of the question just would have been, did they do 3? Like, I don't live in the Resident Evil community, so I don't know what's beloved by them to be like, okay, so we did 2, now we'll do 5. Like, I didn't know if they were going to do something like that.
Yeah,
but to go right to 3, we'll see.
I feel like at this point they might as well just do all of them, because like, if one isn't beloved by the community, then like they'll make it beloved by the community. You know what I mean?
They skipped one.
They did skip one.
So. Blue Point Games is working on a new project for PS5, and it's speculated to be hiccups. Dude, I don't know. Something's.
It's something we ate, because I was getting a little.
Gotta be the Riggies.
I'm getting a little indigestion. That's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not. It's like. It's almost like my body wants to hiccup, but I'm not getting I'm getting like the sporadic, like, ugh.
Oh, no, I'm getting full hiccup, man.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, my joke was that I'll die.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was allergic for a while.
Yeah. I mean, there was full on mushrooms in there. Like, they weren't even cut up. They were just like, that's a fucking mushroom.
I'm not on the floor yet. So.
Yeah. You don't have hives on you, so you're good.
No, I never got those. I just got this unbelievable pain in my gut that I couldn't ever find a comfortable spot, so I ended up on the floor, and that still wasn't comfortable.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
Let's continue, though. Like I said, it's going to end. This podcast is going to end one way or the other. I'm on the floor dying, and Matt has to hit stop, or we just kind of finish it out. Blue Point Games is working on a new project for PS5, and it's speculated to be a Demon Souls remaster. Blue Point president Marco Thrust said, quote, "There's no question in our minds that our current project will become the achievement we're most proud of," end quote. That's a bold statement.
It's a bold statement. At the same time, Demon Souls was pretty complicated. So if they remaster it well, you get the Souls community be like, oh my God. So.
And now our monthly segment where we steal some tweets from Jason Schreier.
And so does everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, so does everybody else.
Did you see that?
Yeah. I saw him and Greg going at it. Jason Schreier tweets with a few more next-gen tidbits. Here we go. Microsoft has been well behind Sony.
You know what? I meant to look up what that means.
Read, write, text? I don't know. Write, read, text? Talk? What? Write, read?
Well, like in the context of the conversation, I was trying to figure it out.
They've been well behind Sony communication, but that probably won't matter next fall. I'm assuming they mean like release and stuff. And
yeah, I'm assuming with their studios.
Yeah. Whispers suggest that the PS5 and Xbox 2 have similar specs and both sound very powerful. Now, I love me some Jason. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah, PS5 and Xbox 2 sound pretty fucking similar. Does that surprise somebody? That doesn't surprise me, I guess, is what I'm saying.
It doesn't surprise me either. And going back to the Greg thing, Gary Whitta made the initial tweet there that was basically like, okay, great. So, like, they're literally going to be identical again, and the only difference is going to be a couple of exclusives.
Right. And then it's the same joke of, I don't think people forget that the Xbox One and PS4 didn't run at 1080.
True. They had
everybody forgets they don't run at 1080.
They don't, yeah.
They run at like 900i or whatever.
Yeah, one's like the PlayStation, I think. One of them's slightly higher, but it's like, it is like 900.
One's like 900, and the other one's like 990 or something.
Yeah, and they upscale.
Yeah. Also, PS5's strategy is to be as accessible as possible, hence no load times. Wow, hot take. Don't get me wrong. I read all of these when they came out, and I was like, sure. Nothing's really news in all this to me.
Yeah, we've all heard it before, and
I was like, the biggest thing is that the communication's behind, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Everything else, like, oh, you're going to tell me that new next-gen consoles are going to be pretty close in hardware? Ooh, never would have thought, Matt.
I did see
Will they both blow the Switch away? Whoa, my mind's blown. I predict.
In regards to the behind that communication and whatever, but I did see another article that claimed that whatever Microsoft's current version of Project Scarlet has been playing games inside Xbox Live ecosystem, like on live and stuff like that, like they're testing it, which I find is interesting. Like, if they can get it to work seamlessly, which you would assume that's what they're going for, that they're probably ahead of the game a little bit as far as they don't need the communication there because people can just throw shit on the console and it'll work fine.
If they're so confident in the compatibility that they don't need to say you need to develop specifically for this.
Yeah. Which was one of the other random articles of like that from a week or two ago that we didn't talk about, which was essentially developers are commenting on the PS5 dev kits being really easy to work with.
Yeah.
Which is a lovely trend for the industry to take.
You guys want to develop for the Ouya?
Wow. Bringing up that corpse.
Listen, we had that corpse up until what? 2014? 15? That corpse was physically in our store until what?
Yeah.
14, 15, something like that?
It was there for a while, yeah.
I mean, 16 was my last year. So. But yeah.
Speaking of PlayStation 5, pre-order notification signups began across multiple retailers in various regions. The regions being the Netherlands, Norway, the UK, and the US. As of now, Best Buy is the only retailer in the US with signups, in case you need notification signups, which I don't know why you would.
But I don't use them when we're at PAX to sign up for a PlayStation booth, so.
Losers.
Loser. Number 6. Riot Games today revealed that it is getting into game publishing with outside studios via a new publishing label, Riot Forge. Per the company website, the label's goal will be to partner with experienced studios outside Riot Games to, quote, create bespoke, completable League of Legends games, end quote.
Bespoke. I love their use of bespoke.
Bespoke Post. Not a sponsor of this podcast, but you should check them out.
What is Bespoke Post?
They do like their subscription box service, kind of like a Loot Crate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also called the Box of Awesome.
What is in the box?
You can pick like a theme.
Okay.
And you get that theme like sent to you. Pretty cool themes. Very
interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting. All I'm saying. Use code DUDE. I think that's the code. I think that's the code for Funhouse, but
usually is dude soup.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But bespokepost.com. Fun tidbit. Interesting that they say completable League of Legends games.
Yeah.
Do that mean they're actually going to make story-based
I think so.
League games?
I think so.
We'll see.
Maybe based around, specific...
I mean, there's lore. There's lore in the game. It's all written in the character pages.
Mm-hmm.
But there's lore. Noxian, Damatia. The thing goes boom, you blow up a Nexus, and you move on. And if you're not Korean, you don't win the World Championships. Or Asian of some sort, because I guess technically China won it. But North America can't win shit.
Yeah, we suck.
It's hysterical to me. People are like, oh, they had a really good season in North America. I was like, yeah, your competition's garbage. Play somebody in Asia for a while. You're going to get rolled. Hell, even Europe's killing them. Anyway, sorry.
It's like men's soccer.
Yeah, but Asia doesn't dominate the U.S.
Well, yeah.
We're kind of even. Certain countries in Asia have really good national teams, but
wow, I was going for more like North America sucks.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. I'll accept that. If we're comparing it to like Europe, yeah.
Yeah. Number 7 on December 9th, developer CD Projekt Red is shutting off support for Gwent, the Witcher card game, on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
No.
There'll be no more updates, expansions, real money purchases, or matchmaking support beginning on December 9th. An update will, quote, freeze Gwent in its current state, end quote. CD Projekt Red said both console versions will remain operational with limited functionality until June 9th. CD Projekt Red said it will continue to support the PC and mobile versions of Gwent, the most popular platforms for the game, according to the developer. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players can copy their account progress over during a 6-month period from December 9th to June 9th if they want to transfer accounts over to another platform.
I'm not surprised, in a way.
I appreciate their willingness to
pivot.
That's good, yeah. Nice marketing term you got going on there.
I hate the reference that everybody knows it from. It's a word in the damn dictionary.
What's the reference? Not catching on here.
What does every female roughly our age or within a 5-year range know pivot from? Friends.
Oh, see, I don't partake in Friends.
Neither do I, because I hate it, but I know it exists, and that makes
overrated.
100% overrated. Anyway, that's not the point. We're not here to bitch about Friends.
Courtney's dog, named after a Friends character.
Which one is it?
Chandler.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember. I saw their Christmas card.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I'll send you one. And I was like, please don't. If you do, you're going to get a video of me just throwing it in the recycle bin.
Lighting on fire, throwing it in the sink.
Yeah. Just play some maniacal laughter.
You should take a video of you sticking it in your cat's litter box and then like a picture of Max like shitting on it or something.
No, I should just do that and then just take the scoop and just cover it up myself.
That would be funny.
She'd be so angry. Like, well, what do you want? Anyway, yeah, I appreciate them moving on from the console because that's one of those ones where like, does it not make sense to just be on mobile and I guess PC anyway? Like those feel like the correct place to play those, but you know, who am I to tell somebody how to play something? Oh, that's right, that's what I do. So. Number 8. Dutch football manager Marco van Basten has been removed from FIFA 20, quote, until further notice, unquote. The removal is in response to comments the former Netherlands striker made while working as an analyst for the Dutch... I can't believe I'm about to read all this. Dutch branch of Fox Sports. In an interview with a German coach, Van Basten said, "Sieg Heil," while literally translating to "Hail Victory." The phrase is known for its use at Nazi rallies. Also during all of the World War II Nazi campaign. Shortly after, Van Basten apologized and said he had not intended to shock people, according to the BBC. I hope that's a mistranslation because I don't think any of us are worried you were shocking us.
I just feel like
Fox Sports suspended him from working for the channel last month with 1 week's wages to be donated to the Netherlands Institute for War Documentation. There is no word on when or if he will be reinstated in the game.
I suspect this was meant as a joke.
That's the way that it sounds like when you hear some other people talk about it, is that he meant it as a joke, but it's not a joke.
Yeah, especially to German people, it's very they take it very seriously.
That's a very no, we don't do that
here. Every time I'm like,
I have a German friend.
Mm-hmm.
She was our exchange student, and I discussed while she was here. I was like, how the hell does your country deal with World War II? Like, I'm super curious.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, and it was before I was in high school. I hadn't learned of.
Yeah.
We're over here doing U.S. history. We don't discuss global climate. I'm like, what does that mean? And they're like, no hand on hearts for pledges or anything too close. And I was like, oh,
interesting.
Right. And I don't know if that's changed now, but that's what it was at the time. They're like, none of this because this is just too close to.
I think that is. I remember every once in a while a post will pop up on Reddit of like someone in Germany doing something stupid, doing the salute.
Yeah.
And like the police will fucking take them out. Like,
the funny thing is, I don't even think you necessarily need to wait for the police depending on where you are in Germany.
Yeah.
There are certain pubs you could probably be in and do it, and you're just going to get the wrong guy to walk outside and go, you. Like, all right, well.
Get him. What I was going to say, though, is like I've been like perverted by anime because I see Sieg Heil and it makes me think of Sieg Zeon from Gundam because that's what they say. They'll say Sieg Zeon, like Hail Zeon. And that's immediately where mine goes.
I like that you're like...
Fucking weeb.
World War II? What? No. Anime.
Anime.
Clearly anime. That's clearly... I mean, that's the Grapist all over again.
Yeah.
They're asking for it. They're wearing purple. Oh, man. The whitest kids you know. The Grapist skit.
All right.
It really puts in perspective my people like Grape shirt.
Yeah.
If you watch the two and know that I own the shirt.
Yeah.
It's a question.
Yeah.
Anyway. What are we on? 9?
Yeah, 9.
Notice I can only speak Spanish on numbers.
It's really disappointing. Like, how many years of Spanish did you take?
3.
Yeah, I took like 4, I think. 3 or 4.
I think 3. Yeah, 3. 1, 2, yeah.
And I've retained 0 of it.
¿Dónde está biblioteca?
Yeah, that's about it.
Where's the library?
Yep.
Es gato en mis pantalones?
There's a cat in your pants.
I believe so. Mono and Fermo Tornado? I believe that's Sick Twisted Monkey. That's an inside joke that only one person listening to this podcast is going to understand.
Now this is a Spanish podcast.
Ole. Ole, ole, ole. We turned into a soccer podcast real quick.
I mean, it teeters the line sometimes.
I wish we could turn into a baseball podcast.
In 2017...
Or it's just a sports podcast in general, man. Can you imagine?
In 2017, Firewatch developer...
But we can talk about F1.
Campo Santo unveiled In the Valley of the Gods. Or in Valley of Gods, I guess is what it is.
I thought it was just Valley of the Gods.
I guess it's In the Valley of Gods is the,
right,
the actual name.
Go for that, then.
I think everyone refers to it as Valley of Gods because that we shorten everything because we're lazy Americans. It was a promising-looking first-person adventure set in Egypt. The following year, Valve snapped up Campo Santo. Some Firewatch fans worried that Campo Santo had been swallowed by a company notorious for not shipping games. They were right to be afraid. Campo Santo co-founder Jake Rodkin released this statement. Quote, to fans looking forward to In the Valley of Gods, it's probably clear that the optimistic 2019 at the end of the announcement trailer isn't going to be accurate. In the end, Valve time makes fools of us all. But yes, developers from the former Campo Santo team have joined other projects at Valve, including Half-Life Alyx. As you can imagine, our experience in the first-person adventure genre is pretty relevant. You hear a lot about how at Valve you can work on what you want. It turns out that's true, and there's a lot of work available. As we integrated ourselves into Valve, it became clear that there was a lot of valuable work to be done on Half-Life Alyx. Some of us started lending a hand and have since become full-time on the project as it approaches launch. Similarly, oh my god, my tongue is not working today. Some ex-campos are working on Dota Underlords. Some are on Steam and so on. So to answer your question, as of today, in the Valley of Gods development is on hold, but it certainly feels like a project people can come and may return to. And when that happens, we'll find an exciting way to let fans know. I cannot talk.
Nope.
I got like a terrible bout of cotton mouth halfway through that.
So I do have a little bit of that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get back to discussing this in a second. But you know what I have started doing sometimes while I'm reading? I don't know if you ever looked at me while I'm doing it sometimes, because I probably look like a psychopath. But I start heavily enunciating with my mouth. So rather than just doing this where I know I can probably say everything, but it kind of gets slurred, I start doing this where I'm really opening my mouth, and it looks really weird, but I feel like it helps sometimes.
I do that sometimes, but I hate doing it because I was tormented as a small child in elementary school by my music teacher, who would constantly yell at me for not enunciating and opening my mouth enough. She would sit there and make me like do that type of shit.
So you just get that trigger and you're like,
yeah, I'm like, oh no, bitch, I ain't doing it.
You can't hold me down. I will speak how I want to speak. But yeah, whenever I catch myself like partway through a story, I change to start really opening my mouth and doing it that way.
Yeah,
because I'll like hear it a little bit, and I'm like, I'm not saying things, and also there's, I'm not getting angry right now. There's a solid chance right here it's just going to need to get trimmed back a little bit because I can just yell again in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm starting to have the problem where they're starting to curl into my mouth.
See, and I do this, but these are getting a little bit too long, and they're getting a little too curl happy, getting to the side of my mouth right now, and I'm like, that's it.
You're out. I had intentions of getting rid of the mustache because it was annoying me.
Right.
But I can't get rid of it until my mom sees it because I know it'll really bother her. So, like, I'm literally just keeping it until my mom sees it so she can be like, what is that? Like,
I do appreciate that commitment to torture.
Yeah, you got to keep her on her toes,
Yeah. Of course. I mean, moms, they'll run away and do whatever they want.
I know.
And then they'll come back and be like, haha, look what I did. And you're like, mustache.
Exactly. And they're like, no.
I had this whole plan and you ruined it with the mustache.
It's basically it right there.
Like that we're now just deciding to torture our mothers and we're just like, mustache. I should shave my whole face.
She's going to be like, no, my baby.
Yeah. Oh, why have you forsaken me? It is funny, going back to the story about Campo Santo. It's funny, they're like, oh, at Steam, you can work on what you want, but that's not our game.
You can kind of hear it in the statement where he's like, at Steam, everyone can work on what they want, and clearly that's not our game, which sucks. Like,
you can work on what you want, and nobody wants to work on our game. So roll on to all these other projects.
They walked in the door and they're like, Half-Life? New Half-Life?
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, there was the group that walked in and like, all right, cool. Now we have this new studio that we can finally work on in the Valley of Gods. And then the other, like, as that one...
Jim runs in and is like, do you know they're making a new Half-Life game?
The three people that are still staring forward at their new office, and somebody looked to their left where they see a giant new, like, poster and, like, some VR demos, and they're like, what's going on in there? Jim walks in and he's like, what are you guys doing in here? Oh, we're working on this like new VR tech thing, Half-Life kind of thing. What? All right, hold on, I'll be right back. Then Jim walks back over to Frank, our usual suspect. Frank, hey, listen, this whole new studio thing looks pretty good. They're working on Half-Life in there, like a VR title. I don't know, this whole Steam thing about like you can work on anything you want. Fuck this game. Let's go over there. Frank's like, oh, good idea. I like that idea. Then Frank goes in. Now there's two people in. We're 2 people out of 100. Whoever went. 2 out of 100. holy shit, this looks really cool. This looks really good. All right, cool. Hey, go get Tommy. So he walks over and he grabs Tommy. Tommy, hey, get like you and your team. We're going to do some Half-Life shit in VR. It's pretty awesome. All right, cool. Now there's 30 people going to the Half-Life VR project. And then at some point, nobody's noticed those 30 people are gone yet. And somebody else looks around and they're like, I mean, I kind of just want to do stuff on Steam. I don't really give a shit about this game. Wait, are those the Steam guys over there? Are those guys working on like the UI and stuff for Steam? Hey, you doing Steam stuff? Need a hand? No? I'm coming over. And then, so then that group of like 5 people went over to the Steam thing. And then it just slowly dispersed. So now it's 5 people still on Valley of the Gods that are still storyboarding in a room that used to have 100 people in it. And they have finally the guy turned around. He hasn't turned around this entire time. It's been months. He's never turned back around because by the time he leaves, it's late anyway. He assumes everybody else already went home. By the time he comes in, it's early. He assumes everybody isn't there yet because he's an early show up, late leave, doing all this storyboard work on the Valley of Gods. And then he turns around. And he's like, all right, he sends out the team meeting invite. We're going to have a meeting, noon. I'm going to bring, pizza and everything. We're going to discuss where we're headed with this game. Orders all the pizza. Gets in the conference room. It's him, Bobby, Joe, Stacy, Susie, and Tim. And he turns around and he's like, all right, perfect. So here's what we're gonna... Where is everybody? We are everybody. No. Like, we came here with like 100, 150 people. Where are they and why has nobody had a slice of pizza yet? Did you not hear? There's a Half-Life VR game and some of our guys like Steam stuff. They all left. What? What? And then he just took the dry erase marker he had that he had been drawing with the entire time, snapped it in half, and threw one half in the trash, and the other half he just started chewing on because he didn't know what to do.
I can see that happening. That sounds like a Valve thing.
He's just like, it's just a nervous tick. So in case you're curious about how that story's going, visualize that, picture it, run with it. Number 10. Oh boy. Number 10. Star Citizen has now passed $250 million raised from its vast number of backers. Cloud Imperium Games' hugely ambitious game has been in development for almost 8 years and it remains unfinished. However, that extended period has left plenty of room for the company to bring in more funding from the community. The total now stands at $250 million, sourced from more than 2.4 million players. That exceeds, what's that, like $10 a person?
Something like that.
I think that's my zeros are correct. That exceeds the total budget of the vast majority of AAA games from major publishers. As PC Gamer highlighted, it raised $9 million in November alone, one of its strongest ever months, due to the CitizenCon fan event. In addition to the crowdsourced money, Cloud Imperium has also raised $46 million in private investment. In May this year, a Forbes report accused the company of mismanaging the huge funds it has raised, mostly from selling in-game ships at prices up to $3,000 to its players.
$104.
Oh, $104 a person.
That's insane.
And then also, if you're curious, you are buying ships in a game that doesn't exist for upwards of $3,000. I've had one person that we both know discuss the prosperity that could exist in Star Citizen, and I've almost punched them in the solar plexus twice.
See, I don't get it. Like, if you're that into Star Citizen, just go play EVE Online.
Well, not even just that. I've wanted to just punch them in the solar plexus for the reasons of just, Star Citizen. I'm like, it doesn't exist. You're being sold on pipe dreams. And then you're out here telling me it's so good. You've literally never touched it. It's not done.
Well,
I mean, it can be played in certain capacities.
Yeah, that's the weird thing with that game.
But like, it's not out. It doesn't. It's not.
They've like mastered the art of dangling the carrot. Because they always are like, oh, here's this build of this thing. Try it out. Like, or, you have access to this for the weekend. Like, we're tweaking X, Y, and Z, like all this different stuff. Oh, well. Star Citizen. Whatever.
I mean, I'm not going to play it when it comes out, but we'll see.
I don't even know, like, so how does that work?
I don't know.
When it comes out, are they going to charge $60 for it? Like,
I don't know. Do you buy a $300 ship to start?
Yeah, like how, you get a $5 ship. What's the difference between a $300 ship and a $5 ship?
What if I spend $3,000?
Yeah, what's the benefit?
Do I get to become God? Do I get my summoning thing where when I warp in, music starts playing throughout the galaxy and it's just... Do I get that? I want that. Can I make my entire ship speakers?
That'd be cool.
And then have a giant subwoofer as my cannon?
I would want my ship to be that sphere of
Influence.
Bollywood Terminators.
Do you not get my... Come on, I went for a history joke.
I didn't hear it.
Sphere of influence?
Sphere of influence. Good old China, Japan. Suffering from spheres of influence. More so China than anything else.
Silk Roads, man. They do it all in.
Yeah, that was the last story. We got to talk about movie trailers. If you want to talk about movie trailers.
Yeah, we talk about some movie trailers. You want to talk about movie trailers? Let's talk about some movie trailers.
Yeah, movie trailers. What'd you think of James Bond? No Time to Die is the title.
I like the title. I think the title is more James Bond than the last like 3.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's very like, yeah, Skyfall, whatever, Quantum of Solace. I think No Time to Die very much fits in with the earlier Bond movies in terms of titles. Like Thunderball and whatever fit with like the Skyfall problem, but
yeah,
the Diamonds Are Forever.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? No One Lives Twice, or
yeah, that sounds kind of like
that. Die Another Day.
From Russia with Love.
Yeah. No Time to Die sounds. Can you hold on? Cat management. I like the title. I like the title when it was revealed. I was like, all right, I'm about this. And then I was a little skeptical, honestly, of the Rami Malek as the villain. But yeah, you only see him for like 2 shots. But I was like, okay, they actually did a decent making.
He's properly creepy.
Like looking at him as a villain, I was like, okay, I can kind of see where we're going. And Hans Gruber's back.
Hans Gruber.
I don't know why I came up with the Die Hard name. Anyway, so it looks good. It will definitely. I would like to think it'll be seen by me in theaters.
I definitely have to brush up on my James Bond history because I don't recall.
I will gladly sit down with you for a Bondathon.
We'd have to do all of the Daniel Craig James Bonds, obviously. I mean, technically, we probably start at Skyfall.
I mean, Skyfall technically finishes up the other ones, so
yeah. Which the other ones aren't like Casino Royale's good, but it's Casino Royale.
But it's Casino Royale, which you could just watch the Connery version if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it's like, and that's the one James Bond book I read was Casino Royale.
And Quantum's just kind of whatever.
Yeah, Quantum's like kind of it's self-contained almost.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, it looks interesting based on the little bit that we saw, like what the storyline's going to be and the other double O's.
It looks like there's still enough of like intrigue, or maybe even more intrigue because there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
there seems to be a lot going on.
There does seem to be a lot going on. I kind of like the place that he's in though, where like he looks like he's retired almost, but then like
because they think he's dead after Skyfall.
The stuff happens like in the trailer, and like the guy's like, what's his face? Fuck's his name?
Q?
Not Q. The guy in charge of MI6.
I was gonna say Jeffrey Rush again, but it's not.
Or MI5, or the fuck they're called. Whatever. He's like, we need James Bond or whatever. Like,
because he's the most valuable asset or whatever.
Yeah, there's just all this
speech.
And then the 00 chick there who clearly
I don't know what
is not a fan of him.
Yeah, she's a 00 that is basically the new age 00. It sounds like you can't just go running around anymore, James. You do something, whatever. I'll shoot you in the leg. The good one.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Black Widow.
I don't care.
I don't care either.
It looks.
I'm offended for Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, that they are giving her a movie now when she should have had one.
Right.
The only thing I can possibly imagine is that something takes place in the movie or after the movie or whatever that will be current in the timeline.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I can think, because I 100% think she deserved one before Endgame.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't do it before Infinity War, at least before Endgame. And then probably, it should have been before Infinity War, but at least before Endgame. And even the quality doesn't look good for what we've come to expect from Marvel. The trailer looks janky in multiple spots.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm just I hope that's not the final product, because there are
clearly
I don't know looking scenes to me anyway.
No, I agree, because the scene where she jumps out of the helicopter and lands on the catwalk, it's something about it just doesn't have the same polish and
that
gravitas that the other movies had.
Even the scene where they're free falling back to Earth, I guess,
mm-hmm.
and she's being shot at from the other guys chasing her. That entire 5 to 10 seconds or whatever
mm-hmm.
does not look good.
Yeah,
there's
looks something
choppy and poorly, green screened or whatever you want to call it. The visual effects do not look that good. And even when I was telling you when we were watching the scene when she meets her sister and goes through the entire Bourne sequence in the apartment again.
Yeah.
100% it bugs me that is the Bourne sequence. It is 100% that Bourne in the apartment sequence.
It really is.
But then her sister's talking in her thick Russian accent, and the way that it's portrayed on the scene, I have to think that they either voiced over that character or they played the audio from a different scene on top of that part, because the audio does not match her sister's mouth movements at all. Not even close. And I'm just oh boy. Ooh, that's... At least if you had done that shot, don't show her. Don't let me see her face talking, because it's not lined up. It's not even close.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We'll see how it gets received. But on first look, I'm just kind of disappointed from what we've come to expect out of Marvel. I'm not happy with the quality of this trailer.
I agree. Last but not least, Mulan.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't care about Mulan like some people do.
I like Mulan. I like the animated Mulan, obviously. I know that what the animated Mulan is totally different from what the actual tale of Mulan is. And that, I think, is different. I don't know. The movie is clearly different from the animated. The live action, woo! Okay.
All right, Eddie Murphy. Sorry.
The live action movie is clearly diverging from the animated movie. And I know the tale is not super close to the animated movie. So I don't know how that all fits in. I'm curious because I like Mulan, the animated movie, and I think this looks interesting, and I think it's a cool approach that they're actually using, the correct actors and stuff like that, actresses that look the part. And I'm probably gonna see it in theaters because I know Samantha wants to see it in theaters. I showed her the trailer. She's like, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go see this in theaters." I'm like, "All right, cool. I guess we're doing this." So yeah, Mulan. That's a thing.
Interesting. I mean, I looked at it, I was like, all right. I mean, it looks cool. Like, it looks like it was shot better than Black Widow at the moment.
Yeah, it does. We got deals this week, or are you figuring that out?
We do have deals. I'm just kind of looking something over real quick.
Are these accurate? Do you want me to read some of these off or no?
You can read off. Start from the bottom.
Xbox or
no,
Twitch Prime?
Start with Twitch.
All right, Twitch Prime. The normal spiel, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. Here's the games for Twitch Prime. Sky Lifts Go Wrong. Toe Jam and Earl.
No, that's not the name of that title. Read it again.
Ski Lifts Go Wrong. Ski Lifts Go Wrong.
We've played Ski Lifts Go Wrong.
Oh, okay. All right. That was a cool game.
It's like bridge building, but
with ski lifts.
And things go terrible. It doesn't work exactly at all the same.
You kill lots of people.
Man,
lots of stick figures type people.
You get those skis caught on the top of a tree, man. They just fall out of the chair.
Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove. Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter. Hover. And Hue. Those are the free games for Twitch Prime.
You get your free games for Xbox Games with Gold, being The Final Station, which was available until December 15th on Xbox One. Insane Robots, which is available to the 31st on Xbox One. Jurassic World Evolution, available till January 15th, starting on December 16th. Read that a little backwards, sorry for that. On Xbox One. Toy Story 3, available till December 15th on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. And Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate HD, available from December 16th to the 31st on Xbox One and 360.
Awesome.
PlayStation Plus. If you got to pay for that online subscription, you're going to get these two games. Titanfall 2 and Monster Energy Supercross. We've discussed both of those before. We thought Titanfall was put out to die when it was, and it did. It was put out to die.
And people loved it.
And
the people that did play it loved it.
And it died. And now you have Fallen Order. And Monster Energy Supercross we've talked about before, because that's the game that when Kenny and I were at PAX, had so many controls that it was almost too realistic of a motocross game. That was the one that was giving Kenny a little bit of difficult time to figure out. Because there were so many, like you were actually having to shift and downshift going into turns and then start going through your gears again to come out of the turn and leaning. And there was just like, I don't know how to hold all these buttons at the same time and still turn.
Interesting.
Can you go ahead and click that link? And I'm going to discuss the other thing real quick. Told you you're going to come plow.
Oh, now I'm in the way.
Yeah, we can probably do this really quick.
He's just like, fuck you.
Nope. All right. He was going to do it. All right. Don't mind me while we check out my plow. Humble Bundle Monthly has now become Humble Choice, which means that it's a PC game subscription that lets you choose games every month to keep forever. You can choose up to 9 games. I believe the amount that you choose potentially changes the price. I'm not 100% positive.
Okay.
It's now changed, so I'm not as the expert I once was. But they're going to curate 10 plus PC games for you to choose from every month, and you choose up to 9 from the list to keep forever. You get to choose from these games currently this month: Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Blasphemous, Ancestors Legacy, Phantom Doctrine, Dead Vinland, Horizon Chase Turbo, Dark Future, Desert Child, Aegis, and X-Morph Defense. Humble Choice subscribers also get exclusive perks. You get to unlock access to 90 plus games in the Humble Trove, which those are usually just indie titles that were released straight to Humble. You get up to a 20% discount on the thousands of games in the Humble store. And you get to support charity every month, so that's what it is. I believe all of those numbers of the amount you save plus the amount that you get to pick from and everything like that, or depending on what tier you pay at. I believe there are tiers to the paying system.
Okay.
I think it starts as low as $5 and potentially goes up to $20, depending on what you want to do. So just an interesting thing. And then if you want to read off the last thing we have here.
Yeah, I think they changed. I don't know if the bundle. Yeah, this is weird. So
it's a new game each day.
Yeah. So like the pricing's weird on it. So what's offered here is there's pay $5 or more and you'll unlock a shout out on Yogg's Cast stream.
Yep.
And Call of Duty Modern Warfare animated calling card. Which I don't know what that is, but
it's the in-game thing.
Okay. So it looks like it's essentially like one price, I'm assuming, because if you pay, it's saying if you pay $30 or more, you'll get this massive list of games.
Yep, which is a game a day, but some of those games only have a specific amount of keys available. Like
Bastion only has a certain amount of keys. Granted, the amount of keys that's displaying is 31,300, so there's a lot.
Right.
I'll just rip through and call some out. Bastion, Red Orchestra 2, Dreadlands, Chivalry, Medieval Warfare. I remember that was hot for a while there. 2 Point Hospital, Company of Heroes, Metamorph Dungeon Creatures, Partial Control. I'm assuming 12 games here.
Mm-hmm.
And more to be announced, obviously, because it goes straight up to December 20th, it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, a lot of games. Fun stuff. But that's it. That's all we got. Anything more from you?
I got nada.
Cool. I guess we'll see you guys in 7 days. Bye-bye.